Today we're going to talk about wicks. There's a lot of wicks out there. Cotton wicks, jute wicks, paper wicks, wooden wicks. We only use wooden wicks here at Fontana, and yes, they are very finicky. We wick test every single candle combination that we make, and we test batches of candles as well, just to make sure that they are consistently coming in and burning well. Being that they're wood and straight from nature, there's a lot less control over their variability. So we do a lot of testing with our wicks. So we wanted to go through our wicks with you. We actually buy them in bulk like this. We have several different wicks that we use, and in order to help us better manage the wicks and make sure the right wick is getting in the right candle, we actually pull each wick out and put them in their own little containers, and we've named the wicks themselves. This is a 0.5 inch wide, 5 inch high ultimate wood wick. That's a lot to say. So instead, we just name them A, B, C, D, E, F. And that makes it a lot easier for the person wicking to be able to come out and say, okay, I need F wicks. So we buy them in bulk, and then as soon as they come in, they get put into their own little receptacle so that they are no longer a 0.5 inch wick, they're an F wick. So as part of that process is as we're pulling them out of this bulk bag and putting them into their bins, it's an opportunity to touch each wick and look at them, making sure that the quality is right, the thickness is right, the width is right. It's one of your opportunities to make sure that what you bought is actually what you got. One of the differences with Makesy or with a wooden wick is that you need a different retainer clip. So we buy them in 1,000 unit bags, and the same thing goes with this. We put them into a bulk box rather than having to dig into this bag every single time. So one of the things that we figured out through our testing is that not every wick right off the shelf works by itself. So sometimes we have to have two wicks. So for example, in this wick clip, there's two wicks in it, and that's what will go in the candle, because we found out that one wick by itself isn't enough, and if we go to a bigger size wick, it's overwicked. So that's where playing with wooden wicks is a little bit more challenging, and sometimes you have, in the way that you have to sometimes combine wicks to make a single wick for your candle. Again, testing, testing, testing. So traditionally we used the whisper wick and the crackling wick from Makesy, and because of that we've had to use combinations of the two sometimes. Most of our candles actually do have two wicks, and what we're really playing with now and testing is Makesy's new ultimate wick. What it has on it is it has a little flute. Engraved on it, which helps bring the wax up to the flame. We've been playing with this, and it seems like we're able to eliminate the dual wick and go down to a single wick. That's going to be really helpful when we're trying to put them into the retainer clips, as well as after you pour the candle. You don't have to make sure that you paper clip or clothespin those wicks together so that there's no gap between them. So going down to a single wick is going to be a really big advantage for us. The ultimate wicks are more expensive per unit, but at the end of the day, it's about the same price and even a little cheaper because we're only using one compared to the two wicks of the other crackling or whisper wicks. So after the wick has been placed into its retainer clip, what you do is you take it off the dot, and thank you to Wade from Black Tie Barn for introducing us to Norton Candle Supply. We now have wick centering tools for every jar, so we have them custom made, a centering tool for every vessel that we use. You put the centering tool on the jar, push the tube down, and push the wick right into the center, push down, and you have a perfectly centered wick every time. We also have retainer clips that go on top that sits in between the wick that keeps it centered while it's pouring as well and cooling. So we talked about wick testing before, and we understand how important it is to wick test. We do a lot of wick testing here because we have a lot of different vessels and a lot of different scents. Every one of those combinations needs its own wick, and so in order to help with that, we actually developed an app called My Candle Tests. And what it does is it helps you track your candle testing by allowing you to take videos of the candle as it's burning and digitize the entire process of wick testing. So you no longer need to write down on sheets of paper all of your candle information and how it was burning. This app will actually keep everything in a digital format for you on an app on your iPhone so that it's all in one spot and easily referenceable for any time you need to look back and to see how a candle performed. So with having that video in there, you no longer have to have ambiguous words like nice flame or good flame trying to measure everything out. This video allows you to take an example of how the candle is burning at every stage of the candle's life. This has really simplified our testing process and allows us to test 30, 40 candles at a time without having a huge binder full of sheets that I'm trying to find and reference in the future. So if you're interested in that app, it's called My Candle Tests. It's in the Apple App Store. We'll link it in the description below, but check it out. It's made our lives a lot easier with all of the candle testing that we do. If you found this episode helpful or insightful at all, please let us know. If you have any questions or comments or desires for future episodes, drop a comment. We'd love to hear what you want to see.